Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly forecast for February 13th through the 19th. This is going to be for Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to connect and see what messages are coming up for the Gemini collective. There could be love reading sprinkling in here. Those of you who watch my videos, you know typically I try to focus on everything other than love in the weekly forecasts, and I do the love reading separate on my channel. But it might sprinkle in. It might happen. If that's the case, I'll try to always keep other information coming in as well. But if you are a Gemini Venus, then, if love comes in, hey, take it. But even if you're not a Gemini Venus, it could just be a message for you coming in here. So we're going to see what's coming in for the Gemini collective and see what spirit brings us. So we have Seven of Wands. When Seven of Wands comes up for me in my readings, it's kind of like you're headed in the right direction. You're doing a really good job. But right now is not the time to try to take a good thing and make it even better. It's kind of like stick with the formula. I don't know if you've ever gone and you've purchased a product that you always get, and it's like, oh, now new improved formula, and you're like, oh, it's terrible. They ruined it. Why didn't they stick with the way they used to do it, right? And so for me, Seven of Wands sometimes comes in with that kind of vibe. Like you might have something really good going, and you're like, oh, but I want to make it even better, and then we mess with it too much, and we pop it, we deflate it. And so Seven of Wands for me says, this is not the time to be a maverick. This is not the time to be a wild card. Whatever is working for you, stick with it. Keep doing what's working, and don't try to constantly be picking at it or improving it, because it can have the opposite effect for you. Seven of Wands also comes up for me in a situation where you may have had a really significant victory recently. You may have been promoted to something, or there could be people who are speaking very positively about you. You may be seen in a really positive light, or you may have been given a really big privilege, or you're about to receive a really big privilege, and you're about to be seen in a really positive light. And there's a warning here that there are going to be people who are coming for you. There are going to be people who just can't stand it. They feel like they should be where you are. And so for that reason, they're going to do things to try to pull you down at that level, or to try to get you to lose your cool, so that you end up like looking bad in a situation, right? Like they poke and poke and poke and poke and poke, and then you're just like, like you just kind of go off, and they're like, oh my god, oh, Gemini made me cry, Gemini was so mean to me, or Gemini was so unprofessional, and I told you Gemini's, a loose cannon, I told you Gemini is a bad person, and the whole time they've been poking you. So Seven of Wands is like, don't get pulled in. Don't pay attention to it. Don't give it any mind. Stay focused. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't feel like you have to defend yourself against nonsensical things. Don't feel like you have to convince anybody of anything. You just focus on what you're doing, and you just keep going, because there are people who are trying to pull you down into the mud. They can't reach him if he stays where he is. But if he acknowledges them and addresses them and comes down closer to the edge of the cliff to try to yell at them or argue with them, they're going to be able to hit him. They're going to be able to hook him, and yank him down and bring him back down. So just don't go to it. Don't take the bait. Next card coming up in here for the Gemini collective is the Two of Wands. This could be choices, decisions, and partnerships. Some of you may be embarking on a new partnership. Some of you may be embarking on a really big decision at this time. And the Two of Wands says you're just going to have to weigh the pros and cons. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling conflicted, like, I don't know what to do, and you feel like you're running out of time, you're like, oh, I wish I had more time to make this decision, and I've been procrastinating for so long, I can't keep putting this decision off. Two of Wands is saying that you're going to make the best decision by looking at the facts in weighing the pros and cons. It's not necessarily about having a ton of time. You don't necessarily need a lot of time to make a good decision. You just need to inform yourself, and you need to look at it and say, okay, what's good? What's bad? Is it more good than bad? Is it more good than bad? Then fine, go for it. Two of Wands could also be that you are embarking on a new agreement or new partnership. That can be very good, very fantastic, but there might be need to clarify with whoever is involved going into the situation. You may have certain expectations, and you may think that everybody else is on the same page, or they're looking at the situation the same way as you, and they may not. And Two of Wands to me says it will still be successful, but there may be this rude awakening that, oh, well, now we got to figure out terms, now we got to figure out conditions, now we got to figure out roles, and we got to figure out, what, when we say this, what does this mean? When we say that, what does that mean? So instead of going into the situation and going through the chaos of figuring out as you go, communicate. Communicate your expectation, communicate your vision, communicate what you have in your expectation, so that can be worked out ahead of time. So you don't go into the situation where it's like, oh my gosh, now we have all of these little bumps in the road. Now we got to smooth over all of these things. Go through the details beforehand so that it can be smooth and there isn't that rough start, that bumpy start. The next card coming up here for the Gemini collective is the Hanged Man, and this is a major arcana card. Major arcana cards are going to come up when the things that we're dealing with are directly connected to things that we came here to experience, things that we came here to master, things we came here to learn. And so there could be a sense here of with the Hanged Man. People don't like to see this card a lot of the times because they feel like nothing is happening. But really, the Hanged Man has two really important messages. Either there's some kind of a timeout, there's some kind of a delay to a situation going into it, because there's something about the situation we're not seeing. And typically, I would say it might be something that you're wanting that you don't really want, and Spirit's trying to help you see that. Those of you who watch my readings, you've heard me go through that whole explanation before, but that's not the vibe I'm getting in this instance. In this instance, I feel Spirit is trying to help you, Spirit is delaying the situation because there's something about the situation you're missing that's going to be a big, big, big headache for you. That you can avoid. This headache is avoidable. And so I feel like this is in connection to the Two of Wands, which is to communicate clearly. Communicate clearly. Be very clear. Be very direct. These are my expectations. This is what I want. This is what I want us to work towards, and this is what I want us to. This is how I want us to do it. And now you can talk with the person or the persons involved, and you can have a very nice, smooth way of moving forward instead of having chaos. And I thought you meant this, and well, when you said this, I thought you meant that. You don't have to go through that chaos. So I feel there's a chance for you here in this delay to work out the details, to communicate clearly, so as to avoid chaos and to avoid headache. That's the way I feel the Hangman coming up here. Okay. The next card coming up for the Gemini collective is the Queen of Wands. Now, this could be, in some cases here, of a feminine fire sign energy, sun, moon, or rising. It could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. If you have a fire sign placement, you may be really focusing on those houses or on those areas of your life right now because we have so much fire in your reading. Okay, the fact that there's so much, it's all fire, with the exception of the Hangman, it's all fire. And so this makes me feel like more so than a fire sign coming into the situation, this feels to me, it's more of your energy about a situation. You may be very hyped up. You may be very stressed out. You may be very like trying to get to something very quickly or trying to make something happen really fast. And I feel like with the Hangman, it's like, hey, hold on, slow down. Spirit is slowing you down to kind of try to help you get focused here and geared towards success. So Queen of Wands for me, outside of a fire sign person, could be a situation in which you're beginning to realize how much you have to offer in a situation, and you may feel as though you're getting the short end of the stick. You may feel like you speak up and you get silenced, or um, you ask for more and they're not giving you more. And when I see the Queen of Wands, you're like, wait a minute, I'm starting to realize how much people are benefiting from having me around, and they're not giving me what I deserve. In this case, it might even be things that you absolutely need, but they're not investing in you. They're not giving you what you need. And so the Queen of Wands is like, I've had enough of this. I know that what I'm bringing to the table is very valuable, and I'm going to go and I'm going to put that to use in a situation where I'm going to be fairly compensated. I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm giving 200% and I'm getting back peanuts. I'm not doing that anymore. And so with this energy, there's a lot of anger, a lot of anger, a lot of determination for change. And that anger and that determination brings about the change very quickly. So some of you could very suddenly be landing a new job, or very suddenly starting a business that is becoming successful, or landing a relationship, a romantic relationship with somebody that treats you the way that you deserve to be treated, or that is giving you back the kind of love that you give, And so I feel here there's a positive change happening in a short period of time, because you're fed up. You're tired of the same old, right? You may feel like you're doing a lot, and you have people coming at you, and there's no like protection in that situation. Sometimes this can be in a work situation where I hate this mentality, and I've worked in these big, professional offices in the past, and a lot of these companies have this mindset that they really want to create an atmosphere of competition. They feel like if your coworkers are jealous of you, then that's good, because it's going to boost creativity. It's going to boost productivity. It's going to make them work harder to knock you out of first place so they can be in first place. And the company thinks that they're going to get a lot more productivity that way. But that's not what happens. What happens is you end up with a lot of backbiting, a lot of cutthroat energy, a lot of shady stuff, a lot of sabotage, low morale, and it's terrible. Nothing's really getting done in that kind of environment. And so some of you may feel like, hey, you're using me in this situation as like that bait of jealousy, that bait of envy. Like, you want these people to be jealous of me, and so you're praising me, or you're saying these things about me because you're getting everybody else riled up, because you want them to compete with me and to do better than me, but you're not seeing the stress it's putting me under. You're not seeing how I'm constantly having to double check everything and make sure that nobody is sabotaging anything, and this is slowing down my productivity. This is elevating my stress. So some of you may be leaving simply because of the environment, right? Some of you, maybe you are getting paid well, or maybe you recently got a promotion, but you're like, this dynamic in this environment is not healthy, and I'm going to go somewhere where it's productive. I'm going to go somewhere where it's healthy. And so there could be a shift in this way for some of you. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign. There's a link in the description that will take you to the other videos that are available on the channel. Be sure to check those out. If you would like to schedule a private reading with me, now might be a good time to do it. I announced a sale recently, and there's been such an overwhelming response to that I'm going to keep the sale prices going for a bit longer. Information is in the description of the video if you want to check out the pricing, and the link will take you to my scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Take care and be well, my darlings.